All right, welcome back to Focus Today, and what a delight to have with us. I just really always struggle to figure out a way to introduce one of my most favorite people on the show, and that is Todd Friel. He heads up Wretched Radio and Wretched TV. Today, he's actually trying to look a little academic. I don't know if he can pull that off because he's pretty much known as the happy man. But here he is with us today, Mr. Todd Friel.
Yeah, I just want to be thought like this. A percentage smart of Al Mohler. So I've got the glass. Can I tell you a little Christian Hollywood gossip story, Perry?
Well, you know, hey, it's free TV. Go for it, brother.
A number of years ago, I was at the house of Kirk Cameron and Chelsea Cameron, and we were in the kitchen, and I tried to read something, and I was doing this. You know how you. Oh. And so Chelsea said, well, you need a pair of these. You can get them at Walgreens or, well, I was going to say Target, but good Christians don't shop at Target. She said, you need some of these. Besides, they make you look all smart. And I said, no, they make you look all old. Here, I get these. The next thing that happens is I'm going to trip, fall, break a hip, get pneumonia, and die without my children. So, no, I'm not getting those reading glasses. So cut to.
Well,
we have dinner. And when dinner was done with their 6 kids, Chelsea said, because we have a guest in our home, we'd like for him to read the Bible tonight. And she gives me one of those little pocket testaments from the Gideons with about a 0.2 font.
Yeah.
And then she hands me the glasses and goes, here you go, Mr. Friel. Because I couldn't read it without. So now I wear the glasses.
Well, listen, they're not so bad. You'll graduate to the ones that I have that have funny lines at the bottom.
Oh, you're that guy, the bifocals guy?
Good to see you, my friend. How you doing?
Great to be here.
Good to see you. Well, a lot in the news. I don't know where we talk. Let me ask you about this. Let's start with Hillary's health. It's a kind of a touchy situation. It's public discussion, but how far do you go? Do you think it's real? Does she really have pneumonia? Nobody went to the hospital. There's no chest X-ray. What do you think about this story?
Yeah, I'm gonna let the doctors that Fox News brings on answer those questions about what it is. Is it epilepsy? Were the glasses she was wearing from Germany because they help you with not get sun that causes a seizure? Clearly, I'm not a medical doctor, and I wouldn't even think of playing one on TV. So let me try the theological perspective, and let us do this in a self-examining kind of way. Let's all ask ourselves the question: when you saw Hillary Clinton biff it, she went down. Mm-hmm. What was your heart at that moment?
Well, I actually felt sorry for her. I mean, I don't care. I can oppose her all day long, but I felt sorry. I mean, nobody wants bad health.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for having that attitude, because these days in evangelical Christianity, if you just say, I feel kind of bad for her and the kid and the grandkids, what? We don't feel bad for Hillary Clinton. Well, actually, we can feel bad for her. Look, this is whatever it is that she has. It doesn't look good. Right. If you've seen some of the other videos where she kind of blanks out and shakes her head like she's, I mean, dying by losing your mental capacity is not something that you wish on a dog. Right. We feel bad for Hillary while at the same time remembering that a people can rejoice when evil stops. Now, this is where it gets a little dicey for us. We don't want to rejoice like, Hillary's going down. I hope it's painful. Yeah. No, we have compassion. We love our enemies, even our radical pro-abort enemies. We love them. But should God be doing something to stop this evil from happening, I can rejoice at that. I can rejoice that maybe more babies will live. I'll rejoice that maybe there'll be more religious liberties. I'll rejoice that maybe we won't have such radical unbiblical views of marriage. But I don't rejoice at her demise. I feel sad about that. So I think we Christians need to find the balance of making sure that we've got both of these in view, because if we only feel sorry for Hillary Clinton, but we don't have a sense of, well, this is a good thing, and so I can privately rejoice that evil could be stopped. And conversely, if all you're doing is going, yes, she's going down, and not feeling any compassion. We're out of balance, and one is not better than the other. They're both wrong.
Let me add to that. How can we be pro-life and not value quality of life? She's not enjoying quality life. We have to feel bad about that. We can oppose her all day long, but if we're true people on the life side of the equation, we'd want her to have a quality of life, wouldn't we?
I'm sorry, I'm just writing that down because I'm using that. That is very...
Have me on your show, I'll figure it out for you.
We're accused sometimes of not, we're opposed to women, we're opposed to abortion because we don't care about women. No, we do, and all of the pro-life clinics that exist and all the pro-life ministries demonstrate that. The adopting, funding, all of it from Christians proves that's wrong. But you bring up an excellent point. We also like to fight for end-of-life issues because we value life, because we see every human being as an imago Dei, image bearer of God himself. And if we're going to be consistent, you bring up an excellent point. When we see somebody's health going down, we go, it's a reminder of sin. It's a reminder of the fall. And we don't like seeing that stuff. Now, God certainly uses it, but we should view it with a sense of, oh no, life quality is being compromised. That's an excellent point.
All right, let's go over to the life issue for a moment, Todd. It seems to now have not been forefront in the campaign. It's been up and down a little bit, but it's not forefront in the campaign. And are you confident that Mr. Trump is truly pro-life?
Well, let me try to grab both parts of that. I'll do the former one latter and the latter one former. Harry, this is a stack. Can you see this? This is not like a Richard Nixon sort of stack. These are the stories, if you will, the articles, the theology, whatever it happens to be, that I have sitting on my desk when we do Wretched Radio.
Right.
Okay?
All right.
Now, one story is in here that has anything to do with politics and the life issue. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened to the moral majority? Life was the biggie, and they are mum, and we need to do, again, a heart check. I understand taxes, building a wall, Islamic terror. I get it. But right now, today, 3,000 babies are going to be vacuumed out of their mothers' wombs. And we seem to, as evangelicals, we're concerning ourselves more with who can make this country great again. I wasn't taking a shot, but that's what we want. We want this to be a good, so that we can prosper. I get that. But what happened to the life issue?
Well, I don't know. It's fallen through the cracks. Now we've heard some strong pro-life statements from Trump, but it's not followed up with what we'd like to hear, the defunding of Planned Parenthood or something like that. So it's been reduced to a soundbite, but I am concerned that the life issue gets back into the forefront and also the pro-Israel issue gets back in the forefront, but those two things are not there right now.
Yeah. Now, you asked the question, is Donald Trump pro-life? And my answer is, I hope so. Now, he's not fully pro-life because he has exceptions, life, health of the mother. So he's not fully and rape and incest. So he's not pro-life. But he says he's more pro-life than the alternative. Is he telling the truth? I don't know, but I think Hillary is. So I know what I'm going to get with Hillary. With Donald Trump, I'm just hoping. I'm hoping that he does some of the stuff that he says, because even if he just does some of it, it's better than what she's telling us she wants to do.
Well, I hope it shows up. We're only about 50 some odd days out, and it doesn't seem to be back as an issue. And I doubt that it'll show up in some of the debates. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Well, listen, let me take a break here. When we come back, I'm going to play the national anthem and see your response. We'll be right back with Todd Friel.
I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Welcome back to Focus Today. Our good friend Todd Friel's with us from Wretched TV and Radio. Oh, say, can you? Well, look at that. He's standing, and he has his hand over his heart. Thank you, Todd.
And I don't play football.
And you don't play football. All right, what a mess the NFL's got themselves into, and it's compounding itself, not only of the Kaepernick issue, which now has snowballed into a mess, but you have players now coming out that are pro-America with red, white, and blue and stripes on their shoes, and they get fined. What do we do with this one?
Yeah. What do we do with the NFL, which was very fast to boycott North Carolina, threatened them because of the bathroom issue, but somebody basically disses America, which is what that symbol was. That was the message. And their mum. It just demonstrates the worldview of the NFL. They have an agenda, and it's not pro-America.
So what do we do? Do we,
yeah.
I suggested that we turn the, you're not going to stop people watching football. They realize that the game is so powerful, the industry's so big, so financially hot, that sooner or later the people will come back. So I thought, well, maybe we ought to turn off the first 10 minutes of the game so the first two commercial breaks don't get seen. What do you think?
Well, if any Christian wants to do a personal boycott, you make those decisions in your home. The question that I have, though, Perry, I think that we should take the time to just dig down a little bit. So here's my question. When we're doing the national anthem, there's a flag, somebody's singing, for better or for worse. Why do we stand up? Why do we put our hand on our hearts? What are we saying? What are we affirming? And can the Christian actually, for instance, say the Pledge of Allegiance to America? Now, I don't know if you've been following any of this, Perry, but there are a growing number of Christians who are saying, I don't think I can say the pledge anymore. The gay marriage, the life issue, it's the debauchery that gets pumped out of Hollywood. I don't think that I can say the pledge anymore. So the question for Christians, I think, is a good one worth working through. How do we balance patriotism with our Bibles? Should we be a lover of our country as people who love the Lord? And I think the answer to that is it depends. If you consider the pledge, say it with me if you will, one nation under God. That's the key phrase, under God. If as Christians we are pledging allegiance, giving affection to something without realizing that God is the good giver, then I think we're doing it wrong. If we're celebrating America on the 4th of July and watching the fireworks and the pageantry, the pomp, the parades, without saying in our hearts, God, this is because you have been very good to us, then I think we're doing it wrong. So the bottom line for me, Perry, I think we should still stand. I still think we can put our hands on our hearts. I still think we can say the Pledge of Allegiance as long as we recognize which kingdom we are citizens of.
Yeah, it's interesting you to bring that up because some faith leaders are saying exactly what you just mentioned. And they add to that, we shouldn't pledge allegiance to anything but King Jesus. What would we be doing to ourselves if we do this?
Yeah, well, then I think we've got some problems. I made a pledge 25 years ago to my wife. That's a pledge.
Right.
Jesus was not demanding that we never take an oath. There was a custom in the first century. They were swearing by heaven. Oh, I've got a good deal for you. I'm swearing by heaven that this is a good deal. And Jesus said, stop it. And James tells us the Christian's yes is the Christian's yes. It's a contract, if you will. But that doesn't mean that we can't ever make a vow, give a pledge, enter into a covenant like marriage. Jonathan and David entered into a covenant. God enters into a covenant. We covenant with God. The Jews covenanted with God, Deuteronomy 28, that both way quid pro quo covenant system. So I don't think that we have to say you can never pledge. I just think we need to be doing it rightly.
Well, it's been said there's only two countries on the face of the earth that formed under a covenant. and that would be Israel and the United States. So we do have a covenant under God.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, increasingly, I think we're seeing that this type of system that we live in, capitalism, free trade, rights, freedom, liberty, without a Christian compass on that, it just runs amok. We're just seeing that more and more. You have to look at America, and we need to remember, again, this is kind of a balance issue. I look at America and I go, wow, look at what God has done with the church, with the gospel. Look at the nice quality of living that he's provided for most people here. Look at how he's improved the world because of America. And I can say, thank you, Lord, for that. Now, that's different than saying nothing about God. I love this country. America first. Build a wall. Get the immigrants out of here, with an attitude that forgets the goodness of God. So I can do both things. I just need to do them rightly.
That's very well said. And what comes out of this is still a potential problem among the faith community, and that is that they will sit this election cycle out because they still look to the personality as a reason to engage in the process. And I think this could be the last chance to save America from going over the edge and becoming totally socialistic. What do you say to what do you say to the person that's, you know, struggling here?
Yeah, here's what I would say. And this is going to sound like, whoa, kind of radical. So just hang in there for a moment. I just heard this from Dr. John MacArthur, was doing a QA in California with Phil Johnson. I'll just hang in there for a second. Don't think that I'm suddenly going all liberal on you. The kingdom of God and what Jesus is doing by building his church has nothing to do with the kingdoms of this earth. In other words, politics is a realm. The kingdom of God is another realm. Now, let's make sure we understand this. We are kingdom citizens of heaven, but we live for a time on this earth. That is not to suggest that we don't get involved in politics. It's not to suggest that we don't vote. It's not to suggest we never watch Fox News again. But it is to help us understand where our hope is. Matthew 16, Jesus said to Peter after his great confession, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God." Peter, little stone on this boulder of a confession. I'm going to build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. Hillary Clinton will not prevail. Bernie Sanders will not prevail. Communism will not prevail on the building of this kingdom. With that in mind, we recognize that we're temporarily in this kingdom, and we vote and we do as much good for people as we can, recognizing whatever the outcome is, whatever the concern is that you have, and there are many of them. Remember, if the gates of hell can't overcome the church, the Democratic Party can't.
I got to tell you, that was brilliant. I'm going to send you that clip so you can put it on your website. Well, that was beautifully said, Todd. I think what we're facing here is that more and more Christians now are faced with the fact that we are not electing a pastor. We are not electing a pope or a priest or a perfect person. That we really are dealing with human beings. And which one could protect our freedoms? Which one could protect religious rights? Which one could protect the First Amendment? And so I'm seeing more and more people begin to realize, hey, I better get engaged. What do you think?
Yeah, you know what, I see that. I don't know if you read the article from Wayne Grudem when he said voting for Donald Trump is the morally right choice. And then John Mark Reynolds, another theologian, said, no chance, Wayne Grudem. This guy is so bad. He's so terrible. Now, their concern is if we vote for a guy like that, we're endorsing a guy like that. I would ask us to take a look at the Bible. Daniel worked for Nebuchadnezzar. Was he endorsing his wickedness? No. He was a citizen of that earthly kingdom, and he served. Was Jesus endorsing Caesar when he said, render unto him what belongs to him? Was Paul somehow endorsing Nero in Romans 13 when he said, submit to the government? It was Emperor Nero. No, they were just doing what we as kingdom citizens need to do on this earthly planet. Now, some people say, ooh, the guy is so terrible. I don't know that this will help perfectly. And I'm not even sure, frankly, this is wise, but for whatever it's worth. Rather than thinking about Ronald Reagan, that's the way that it's good when we've got guys like that. I get that. Just imagine for the last 240 years, we've had Louts, we've had Neros, we've had Caesars, we've had Nebuchadnezzars. Now take a look at your two choices. You might actually be excited that there's at least one of the candidates that is saying some good stuff.
Well, even God picked non-believers to save his people to lead.
Look, nobody has to be excited about this. I don't think anybody's jumping for joy, frankly. But we want to do as much good for as many people as we can, or try to stave off as much evil as possible. So I get it. Donald Trump, let's just say all of it's true. He is the basket of deplorables himself. Okay. He's not saying that he wants to keep killing babies.
Oh, it's amazing. Hey, listen, plug your new book. What do you got going?
Yeah, the new... I should have you didn't tell me that. Stressed Out is the new book. It's based on John 14 through 16. Jesus gave 12 anxiety relievers to the disciples, and by extension, us. If you ever bite your nails, you got worry warts, this will help. It's called Stressed Out.
Stressed Out. Where do they get it? Can they get it at the store? Go to your...
Where can I get it? I don't know.
You didn't even got it in your own office. But
I don't.
Did they go to wretchedradio.com?
You can get it pretty much any place, but you can go to wretchedradio.com. Wretchedradio.com. You can also get it on Amazon and at your local Christian bookstore.
All right, check it out. It's Stressed Out. I've seen the book. I've read a little bit of it. It's pretty powerful. I don't know anybody that's not stressed out. I mean, we're just stressed out talking about what we're talking about.
You only read a part of it. We sent you a free copy. Yeah, there's plenty to be worried about. Jesus doesn't want us to be stressed out, and he's provided the means for us to do that. It's found in the Bible. I try to capture it in Stressed Out because there's plenty to be anxious about. Jesus says don't.
I'll tell you what, I promise I'll finish it. My other four
personalities next time, pal.
my other four personalities weren't in agreement. So I'll get them back. Oh, well, listen, one other quick thing. Do you think that Christians really struggle with patriotism?
Not some do. And all I'm suggesting is that this season where people are starting to question such things, let's just hit it head on. Let's just tackle it. Let's deal with it. Because sometimes we grow up in a family, we grow up in a particular part of the country where it's very patriotic, and we just assume it. I think we can be. We just need to be doing it rightly. And this might just be an opportunity for a little bit of an attitude adjustment for a lot of us. We can handle talking about this without being commies.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Todd, you're a delight. And let me just say to our viewers and listeners, of course, Wretched TV is seen here on the Dove Television Network and on a regular basis, and we encourage you to check it out. Wretched Radio at wretchedradio.com. He's got a host of books that he's written. You may want to grab the one called Stressed Out. It really is good, and I promise I'll finish reading it. I got stressed reading
the part you read.
No, I just got stressed reading the part that I read. Yeah, and so anyway, all right, one quick question. I only got about 40 seconds. So, a public person... What's that?
Can I jump in and say something real quick?
Yeah, hurry.
All right. Look, we get to become familiar with a lot of Christian TV stations and networks around the country. There's some good ones. I'm telling you, Dove is one of them, and I know the folks. So in whatever way you can support them, whether it's prayer or financially, they're one of the good guys. Let's keep them strong if we can, because they're doing a great work.
Thank you, brother. You're wonderful. All right, we'll talk again soon. Okay, turn your NFL banner upside down.
That'll teach them.
We'll see you later. Todd Friel. We'll see you next time on Focus Today.